Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry on these.
What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Dope Boy Diesel. We back here in the Doja room once again, live and direct to all my stoners, hippies, and hip hop enthusiasts. Please light your blunts up. If you're on a nice day off of work like me, you know what I'm saying? Nice summer day, air conditioning blasting. You feel me? This is just how we living today. All right, nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. The onslaught on Rock Nation continues. Just gonna make sure that we live on all platforms here. Make sure we live and direct everywhere. To all my guys, how y'all doing though, man? How y'all doing? I hope everyone is feeling great. Okay. Sound. We sounding good. Yes. Amen. We sounding good. Amen. Yeah, man. Yeah, welcome to the Doja Room. Got a little bit to talk about here today. I'm back before I take yet another trip. And I don't know how long I'm going to be away. So, with that being said, I'm going to try to get out as much time with you guys as possible. But it's a lot going on. Okay, family reunions, birthday parties, concerts, this thing, that thing, a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff. So hopefully y'all are locked in, y'all stay rocking with us because we got a lot going on. Okay, so oh, that's the wrong thing. Let me first get my okay, lock in with us. So if you're tuning into the Doja Room, lock in with your boy. Hop into the Doja Room community where we are reviewing movies, we're reviewing albums, we're reviewing shows, okay? We're getting into everything. We even rating some artists. As you see, we got our rap rips. We're rating artists, giving them overalls, and even providing a couple of overall cards, okay? We got Drake, we got the Algorithm King, of course. We had to drop the Algorithm King because at the end of the day, it just is what it is. Drake is the algorithm right now. Is he not? Is he not? Amen? Amen, ladies and gentlemen? But no, yeah, for real though. He's the Algorithm King, and we're going to get to a little bit of what's been going on concerning him. It's really funny because what else is there to talk about? You know what I'm saying? I almost don't blame these guys. You feel me? I almost don't blame these guys. What else is there to talk about? So yeah, get into the Doja Room community where, of course, we talk Drake, we talk music, we talk all of the latest scandals and kerfuffles going on. Okay, so if this is your first time hopping into the Doja Room, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna get into some of the things that's been going on around the internet before we get too heavily into the Rock Nation Drake stuff. It's been a lot going on, okay? Coincidentally, even when you get to the stuff that isn't really Drake stuff, it's still somehow tied to Drake. It's really crazy. It's like, bro, this man is the algorithm, okay? He is the fucking algorithm. So, what's been going on? Clarissa Shields, she fought. Watched that fight. She won her fight. That was pretty dope. Shout out to Clarissa Shields for putting on the beats out here in these bitches. Being the number one female boxer of all time. I think it's almost a little bit undeniable at this point. Yep, no? It's a little undeniable at this point. So shout out to her. I see a lot. I see Clarissa Shields getting a lot of hate these days about how vocal she is about her relationship with Papoose, and you know how she's the best. First of all, she's a boxer. If y'all don't know how boxers talk, it's how boxers talk. They know how to sell themselves. Okay, she makes it. Um, she makes it very tempting for you to want to see her get her ass beat, and even maybe pay money for it. Okay, so I think the hate is a little bit unnecessary. I've seen some tweets and things like that going around, and it's a little crazy how much hate Shorty is getting. Like, oh, she never fought. Shorty was 41. Look, she beat everybody. She beat everyone. There's damn near no one else for her to beat. And the people who come and they start talking this noise, they obviously don't know boxing. Because it's like, dude, she beat everyone. She beat everybody. There damn near ain't nobody else for her to put hands on anymore. Okay? What more do you want? All right? It's a little crazy. Shout out real quick, moment of silence, RIP, whatever you want to give to my girl Hayden, what is her name? Hayden Panettiere. She apparently passed away out of nowhere. And now they're dropping 911 calls, it seems like. Let me see here. So, yeah, this is the girl. I know her best from Heroes because when that show blew up back in the day, she was one of the main characters. It looks like we got some updates, so let's see.
Start with this Fox News alert.
I just want to see this person.
And singer Hayden, start with this Fox News alert. Star actress and singer Hayden Panettiere has died at the age of 36 years old.
Todd Pyro is here with the details. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning to all three of you. Tough way to start the morning. Her father announcing the young star's death in a statement to the media saying, quote, "It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved Hayden. She was an incredible light and a force of nature who brought immeasurable love and joy to all who knew her and to the millions who watched her on screen." Panettiere began her career young, finding fame starring alongside Denzel Washington in Remember the Titans before landing a leading role in Heroes, where she jumped to international fame playing a superpowered high school cheerleader. She later starred in the hit musical drama Nashville, where she saw both career and commercial success, earning 2 Golden Globe nominations and having multiple songs break in to the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart.
This tunnel's dark, but there's a little light glowing.
Man, that was that girl.
Just enough for me to run.
How did she die, though? We're not getting to how did she die.
Nothing in this world will ever break my heart again.
And she had the voice on her.
She leaves behind her 11-year-old daughter, Kaya, who lives with Hayden's former fiancé, boxer Vladimir Klitschko, in Ukraine. The circumstances surrounding her death remain unclear at this time. Hayden Panettiere was just
unclear. And it's funny, a lot of people are actually going back to this video that she did about 3 months ago, if I'm correct, where she was saying some pretty damning things. Seems like she was having a little bit of an expose and ready to start telling some stuff about her life in Hollywood.
All of them. You write about a moment in your career where a friend of yours takes you onto a boat. You're led to a room which has an older man in it, and then basically told to perform sexual acts, and
Oh yeah, perspective completely shifted, and I realized that I was in danger. But by the time I'd realized I was in danger, I was quite literally out to sea. And it was that moment shook me and was shocking. And I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening. So it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise. And it was somebody led by somebody that I had grown to trust and see as a protector and somebody who had my back. And to be walked down, down the stairs, and it was as like a surprise, presented as though it was like a surprise, and it was this very small room, and she physically put me in the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous, and had his hands like this, like this was just an average day for him. And this is something that happens all the time. And I waited for her to leave, and I mean that lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide, and I bolted, and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was going to. I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
It is all of them.
They're trying to say it was Justin?
All of them. And not.
To be my situation.
It is all of them. It is all of
them.
All of them. All of them.
Is her friend?
And not
his wife?
One will be able to escape.
Are they saying they got Justin the same way? Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theories today. I would like some solid information to come out on her death, though. That's pretty wicked. You know what I'm saying? That's wild, if you ask me. Well, I think we got to get down to the bottom of that. For there not to be any information on how she died yet is kind of concerning, is it not? Usually that's kind of the first thing you can tell, unless there were some other things going on. There's also, it seems like there was a 911 call that dropped. Let's get to this one.
An instant shooters on for cardiac arrest. This is no law.
It's a cardiac arrest, it seems like.
Fairview 1, instant shooters on for cardiac arrest. Justin Milwaukee. Mr. 1, minute 29, responding.
Overdose, CPR is in progress.
So they're saying overdose, cardiac arrest. Apparently, from the details, and this is coming from Officer Tatum, so we got to take this with a grain of salt, but new details are emerging in the death of actress Hayden Panettiere. According to 911 dispatch audio, emergency crews responded to Greenville, South Carolina. So she was right there in South. I'm about to go to South Carolina this week. She was in South Carolina in an apartment for what was described as a suspected overdose-induced cardiac arrest with CPR already underway. Panettiere, best known for her Heroes in Nashville roles, later died. Her father confirmed the passing, and we just heard that. But yeah, that's a little strange, but it would align. She did have a past of substance abuse, and that's actually the reason why her husband has full custody of their daughter, which is, unfortunate. But she, at the time, felt like she was in a state where she could care for her daughter, or give the best care to her daughter. So maybe this is the family, holding this information back a little bit. But it seems like it may have been an overdose. And if that was the case, it's extremely unfortunate, I know people who struggle with substance abuse, regardless of what that substance is, and yeah, that's just sad. So, prayers to her family, prayers to her daughter, and hopefully they can move past this. They well, not move past it, but figure out how to live with this, because you never really move past something like this. Okay. So yeah, we got some more before we get to the big ticket items. We got a little bit more to get to. People are on Saucy Santana's head for his recent, and here we can just go ahead, actually let's pull up the video, for his recent controversy and resurfacing of his clips where he's in the pool suggesting that kids are sexually attracted to him, which is a little crazy, but let's get into this Poetic Flacco video real quick and see what's good.
And in this video, they were doing the dance to Quiet on the Creek. And people felt like, well, that's inappropriate, right? Like, we understand the song is like viral on TikTok, and right, and children are doing the dance on TikTok. But for you to be in the video doing it with them after this controversy, that's just like brain dead, right? Like, that's clueless. Like, that's not being self-aware, like, at all. Okay, and people had a lot to say about this on social media, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. People did think pieces on this situation.
Let's talk about Saucy Santana, okay? I've never liked him. I'm not just saying that. I've never liked Saucy Santana. He says a lot of things. He's an internet troll. But the whole Kens thing, he clarified yesterday that he said kids. Like, all the rhetoric of trans, especially the what they call a trans woman, a man who wants to be a woman. The rhetoric that they're all spilling right now is the rhetoric of predators, all of them.
Yeah, Saucy Santana, he really out here fooling. And I know y'all seen that video where he in that pool. I'm not gonna lie, dude going a little too far. Why would he say kids wanna, bruh?
My thing is, what does the world come to when this is what we promote? Like, this is the shit that we put. The nigga is a sassy nigga with a beard. Full nail set. However you girls call it. Full nail set, all that good shit. And it's like, nigga be having on the wigs, the weaves, the whatever. Like, it's like, what are we doing, son? And then the niggas in the video with the kids just wilding. Like, it's like, oh, bro. like, what is this? I don't know if we can play this song, but what are we doing? Now, granted, these probably just a bunch of little ratchet hood boogers, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this be the problem. They sit here watching, listening, and being subjected to this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why these kids be bad as fuck. These kids be out of fucking control. And it's sad to see. For real, if you ask me, it's really sad to see. These niggas got to get it together. But yeah, I really think that, they gotta figure it out, because Saucy Santana is not the role. Like, where do y'all niggas choose y'all role models? Yeah, this would I really be talking. Like, we'll sit here and get on Drake about who he has around him, but at the same time, y'all cool with Saucy Santana, just flaunting around and twerking around, and it's like, yo, bro, what are we doing? Nigga already done said some such shit, and he's still able to exist out here in these places. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if hey, everybody don't got to get canceled, but everybody don't got to get uplifted at the same time. Okay? That's all I'm saying. We don't have to uplift every fucking, but hey, to each his own. Some people waking it up. Some people ain't with that shit, dude. Some people is just not with that shit. Like, I would never want my daughter or son to be watching or influenced by a Saucy Santana. That's why it's like it's like niggas like Black Boy Max who do the fucking gay baiting shit, and then us people who are calling him out and be like, yo, bro, why the fuck are you promoting this shit to kids? Like what are you doing? These people be like, oh, it's not kids, it's not primarily kids that watch him. Nah, fuck all that, nigga. Fuck all that. It's all of these, oh, you don't say nothing to these people and you don't say nothing about this. I say something about all of this shit. I say something about all of this shit. But it's niggas like this Black Boy Max nigga who will get on stream and call a nigga like Saucy Santana a bad bitch, trying to create this trend that, this is cool. Like, what he's doing, yeah, that's cool. It's authentic. It's like no, like, nigga, that's like what kind of demonic shit are you niggas fucking like pushing? Like, come on, what are we talking about? It is what it is, man. The people are waking up, obviously. Yeah, he wanted that clout. He didn't care where that clout is coming from. But yeah, I don't know. We don't got to get too deep into it. I just think this whole quiet on the creek shit, I don't even know what that means. But it sounds like some such shit, okay? So, it sounds like niggas promoting some such shit to kids to me, okay? It sounds like nigga is definitely promoting some such shit to kids to me. So, I don't really know what all of that's about. Yeah, if he gonna be doing shit like that, then it is what it is. But I don't really rock with it.
And when people saw that Saucy Santana reposted, they said, "Oh hell no, hell nah." And it's strange to say, but the people who were willing to forgive Saucy Santana for the predatory comments They drew the line at him possibly being MAGA.
It's so unfortunate that we're watching Saucy Santana fumble one of the biggest opportunities that he's ever had. Quiet on the Creek is a phenomenon, whether we like it or not, all across the internet. So of course the only person that could stop all that momentum was Saucy Santana himself. He's currently reposting pro-ICE propaganda that's coming straight from the White House's page. None of this is really surprising if you followed Saucy Santana for any length of time. He was anti-Black Lives Matter, anti-vax, a COVID denier, anti-Black as well. I'll personally never forget the criticism he got for critiquing Beyonce's daughter's hair. With a history like that, I don't think the repost was a mistake. Ignorant people are always going to do ignorant things.
And I'm hearing that Saucy Santana support Trump. And you know, I'm with like...
What is the nigga doing, bro? Like, what are we... yeah, what are we doing, son? Like, come on, we gotta stop it. You know what I mean? We gotta stop the madness. Like, what is this nigga doing, bro? Pause. All of that. Fuck all of that. This is... It's a bit too much. They doing too much out here, okay? I'm not with all of that. But yeah, hopefully he gets it together. They not with you supporting Trump, brother. That's not your audience. That's not your audience. You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, the nigga is up here damn near bunny hopping. Let's get into the next thing I got on the board. I thought this was pretty funny because this guy top five Troy, he basically was trying to dismiss the entire Drake Rock Nation back and forth until What's the Dirt's video dropped, and you know we got some earth-shattering, groundbreaking revelations from none other than What's the Dirt, and he did his thing on that video. We all saw it. The industry saw that video, and you know he's been actively attacked for it overtly, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not even something that we can really deny. It wasn't something that we could deny before, but people like What's the Dirt, thankfully for him, people like academics, there's people who are pushing it a step further to say, okay, you niggas need unequivocal evidence, some shit that you can't debate, that we can't argue, fine. And niggas have been out here doing the work, okay? Niggas have been out here doing the work, and so now I guess he's come back around and, you know, made a video. So let's get into this. I thought this was a little bit interesting. I haven't watched the full video, but let's get into it.
Kendrick Love goggles off. You must admit that these videos are at least convincing. They're making convincing points, convincing arguments. My thing is, I just don't care. I don't care what's, you know, Drake having legal issues and these business and millionaires having millionaire battles against each other. Really, I would only care as much as it's in the music. Now, if Jay-Z drops an album and he's putting this stuff in his music, okay, you got my attention a little bit more. Obviously, Drake dropped the Iceman joint. He put it in the music. As a listener of hip hop, just, you know, someone listening to the music, why am I supposed to care about, you know, these legal issues and these other issues Drake is running into? Though Jay-Z is a shark, a businessman, did you not already know that Jay-Z was a shark when it comes to business? The man is a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. His wife is a billionaire. You thought he wasn't a shark? You thought he wasn't doing all these type of things, you know, underhanded things potentially to get ahead in business? Man, this is the name of the game, right? So as I'm watching these videos, you know, these Drake and Rock Nation videos, again, which are very convincing videos, everyone done a great job digging deep, finding what's in the research and all this, getting all their facts together, right? People done a good job doing that, right? But as I'm watching this, my thing is, what's the end goal? What am I supposed to be convinced of? What are you getting at? Are you saying that because Drake lost a rap battle, that was a part of a coordinated campaign to take him down?
See, this is This is kind of I don't know if he's trying to be disingenuous or he just doesn't really care that much or he hasn't been paying attention. But you know, why you should break this down and see this as something bigger than just millionaires and billionaires throwing money at each other and going at each other is because what Rock Nation is doing is subsequently affecting the smaller artists. You shouldn't have to fear doing your own thing, not following the crowd or not following the gatekeepers or the heads of the industry. Let's be clear, Jay-Z was slighted because Drake chose Apple and then he chose steak. And at those two fronts, he's looking across the table and there's Drake standing with his competitors. So on that front, if you want to sit here and say, "Oh, well, what's the problem?" Of course, Jay-Z is a shark. You don't make that much money without being a little bit underhanded and being a little bit savvy and being a little bit cutthroat. Granted, I know the industry. Granted, it is very cutthroat. And you have to adjust and tune yourself to that to either survive it or thrive in it. But at the same time, why can't niggas call out things for a greater cause? This only makes us look at more things Rock Nation has had their hands on, i.e. the Tory Lanez case. If there's foul play going on here, what's to say there isn't foul play going on with the case between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez? What's to say there isn't more foul play going on in other places that these guys have had their hands? In the Damari Hadley case versus Desiree Perez, her own daughter. She had her own daughter kidnapped. And if niggas just don't care about shit like that, and those are the people who are running the game, running the industry, and you just don't care about, I don't see why I should care about that. Cool, nigga, cool. You don't see why a bitch going around using her $18 billion company to kidnap people, spy on people, dox people, gather information on them, put them in danger. Did you not read Damari Hadley's case? Oh, so it's perfectly normal for you to walk out your house and see vans and cars parked outside your house, people taking pictures of you, you getting in your car and there being a unloaded pistol on your fucking passenger seat. Oh, that's okay to you. Shit like that is cool. Like, we're not getting it. Quite frankly, I don't think people are getting it, and people. This guy does his research. I know he does it. This is a smart guy. I've seen some of his videos. So, I don't know if he's being disingenuous or if he just really doesn't care that much to where he hasn't done the research and he hasn't cared to really look into how deep this goes and how rotten this company really is. How does an independent artist thrive in the game with companies like this operating without things like this, these shady tactics, these the industry could be so much better, but you niggas are just okay with how the industry is. You niggas are okay with the industry being cutthroat. You niggas are okay with women being used and we not having more Nicki Minaj's who stood 10 toes, didn't fuck these niggas, and stood on her pen alone and forced the game to respect it. Like, I'm sorry if niggas want to see change. I'm sorry if niggas don't want to be in an industry where it's impossible for a person like me, for a person like you, any normal people. I'm sorry that we want to see a transparent industry to where the people who are really putting in work, the people who are really talented, are being put at the forefront. Excuse me. In my eyes, that's what this all boils down to. Now, for a lot of people, this might just be about defending Drake, and there's a lot of people who that who fit that card, who fit that bill. But a lot of those people I know are hip hop fans. A lot of those people are bigger hip hop fans than even myself, or more knowledgeable than myself. So you can't say, well, what's the end goal, or what's the what? How do you not see it? How is it not clear? It only goes to show that you maybe have not been paying attention. And I think that, I don't know, maybe you've been purposely putting this off because you don't want to seem so biased. But there's only one side in all of these Stan Wars, and this is the Stan Wars era, if you ask me. And in this Stan Wars era, there's only been one side who's been correct, who's kept their integrity intact, who's kept their sanity intact. There's only one side. And I get it. Maybe you don't want to seem like you're choosing sides. You try to brand yourself as the biggest Drake hater, even though I don't really believe that. Like, you don't really, you don't really give that off, brother. You know what I'm saying? But I get it though. I get it though. Maybe you don't want to seem like, like a lot of people don't want to seem like, ugh, damn, these niggas might have been right the entire time. Ugh, damn, these niggas might have had a point. It pains a lot of you to say that, because a lot of you guys spent the last 2 years trying to call us Delulu. A lot of you guys spent the last 2 years saying, yeah, he lost the rap battle, but to act like the entire industry is against him. But we keep seeing more and more evidence as time goes by. It pains a lot of you to come to terms and just give us the dub. I don't see how you don't see it, brother. I don't see how you don't see how companies like Rock Nation have no place in the industry. They don't. People like us, the internet that we're building, and it's a shame because you're an internet guy. So you should know the direction that the industry and the internet, all industries, are moving is that of the people, that of the voices, authentic voices, coming from not the big companies, not the CNNs, not the Breakfast Clubs, not the Foxes, okay? Not the Hot 97s, not the MSNBCs. This is where everything is being shaped. Right here. Everything is being shaped right here, right now, on the internet. Industries are being changed overnight. Companies are falling. 100-year, 200 years, traditions are falling, crumbling, being replaced by newer, more innovative ideas and systems. All because of this tool that we're using called the internet. So that doesn't mean we can't still use this tool to change the music industry and put forth the people that we really love and we really like, and also make it easier for the common artist, which, don't get me wrong, it's more easy than it has ever been to come out and put your music out there, record, and just do your own thing. But it's very hard when you don't necessarily have industry backing to market yourself. And that's the paradox. But at the same time, you know, it builds a barrier. It makes gatekeepers. And people like Jay-Z, people like Kendrick Lamar are very much gatekeepers. They are people who are going to climb up, and they don't necessarily really bring people back up with them like a Drake. They don't. They just don't. For whatever reason or another, be it they just don't have the star power like that, or they just don't want to, and they play recluse for, you know, several years before popping back out again when it's time to make some more money. You know, but it is what it is.
I mean, I guess if that's your point, sure. But I think a lot of these people, you gotta believe that a lot of these, you know, Rock Nation and Drake, people who are doing this research, you gotta believe that they have at least moved past the battle. You know, the vibe I get from the videos is this is beyond the battle. This is deeper than the battle. This is deeper than just Kendrick, right? This is a billionaire's battle, millionaire, multi-millionaire battle.
That's a fact. It is deeper than the battle. We have came to find out that Kendrick was just a pawn in all of this. It is deeper than that battle. And people like myself were saying it back then that this felt too calculated. This felt like an industry hit. Why now? Why are all of these things happening now? Why are all of these people coming out now? What is it? What do all of these people have in common? What are all the ties? What's really going on? And it comes to find out more and more that the pieces are just starting to fall into place. And you can't deny that. You can't. Because we were saying this from day one. That's why we're being so loud about it now. A lot of us have been saying this from day one. This was an industry hit. I said that. I think I even made an article on it. This was an industry-wide hit. This was a calculated hit. I got up before this mic and said it multiple times. So yes, people are going to come out and say, yeah, we told you so. Yes, we're going to say it to the mountaintops, nigga. So don't be annoyed now. Don't ask what's the point, because the point is we were saying this during and after the battle. When it just came down to, no, not like us drop Kendrick. Drake can't come back after this. He can't say anything. The battle is over. That's it. We don't want to hear nothing. But he waved the white flag, even though Kendrick waved the white flag. The nigga said the rap battle is over. What? It felt too calculated. It felt unnatural. It didn't feel real. It just didn't feel real. So come on, let's just be honest. What we're talking about and how we're recalling history.
All right, but I can't help but think that the end goal is, hey, there's a at least from my point of view, what they're trying to say is there's a coordinated campaign against Drake. These are the people who are funding it. Hence, Jay-Z and Rock Nation, they funded it. Hence why Kendrick was at the Super Bowl. Hence why Kendrick had all the, advanced bots and stuff like that, man. I'm all for them uncovering the details and who's doing what. I'll watch it. I don't necessarily care so much. I'm not surprised that Jay-Z is a shark of a businessman potentially, but, I'll watch it, right? But if the end message is, hey, y'all think Drake lost, that battle because the Rock Nation and the stake, gambling, and that's why Kendrick got, and that's not why Kendrick got him, man. We was all there. Well, yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think of some of these videos. very good videos, but at times I do wonder what is the end message here. And also to the point about Drake, if you know you had all this going on, you know you had this renegotiation coming up, and you knew you were, you know, at odds and against Jay-Z and Rock Nation, this huge conglomerate, why would you then get in a rap battle around the time of your negotiation, around the time of your renegotiation? Like, why get in a rap battle at that particular time? So, you know, it's just a lot of questions, but I'm sure my questions will be answered as people continue to make these videos, and I'll continue to watch. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Let me know what y'all think. Did y'all watch some of these Rock Nation, Drake videos, steak advertising, everything? Let me know what y'all thought of those videos in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's a sort of kind of disingenuous conversation that's being had. It's hard to ignore what Rock Nation is actually doing and to just chuck it up as, it's no big deal. Let me just make sure we still alive. Alright. Yeah, but to, you know, just chuck it up as like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. You know, like, why should we care? This is rich niggas. Like, no, this is the industry. Why do you want to be in an industry that's like this? Why do you want to do that? It's actually fucking terrible. You know what I'm saying? Why do you want there to be a company where it's being ran by a woman who is openly kidnapping people? Just literally being sued for kidnapping a person, planting listening and camera devices in a person's home. How does she even do that? How does she even get that accomplished? You know? So it's a pretty sticky situation, but you know, prayers out to Damori Hadley, and hopefully she gets justice for what her and her husband went through. We got also a clip from Academics. Let's get to this one. Who he went in on some more exposure of what exactly, or the people behind these lawsuits exactly. Okay, so let's get into this real quick.
The lawyers in the world, but now he has to disclose who's paying for this. How you paying for this shit? Let's click on it and see. AI land them.
All right, let me run that back. I had to fix my camera real quick. Let's run that back real quick.
The lawyers in the world, but now he has to disclose who's paying for this. How you paying for this shit? Let's click on it and see what's up. Okay. Cost 20 cents. I'll take it. Let's look at it. All right. Plaintiff has entered into a litigation funding agreement with Polig LLC, the funder. It's a New York limited liability company with the principal address at 477 Madison Avenue, New York, New York. Funder was organized under the laws of New York. Here's this. The funder does not process, and its approval is not required for any litigation or settlement decision in this action. The plaintiff and his counsel retain exclusive authority over and control over the strategy, prosecution, resolution, and settlement of this matter. Here's the thing. Nature of financial interest. They have to disclose this. See, Charlemagne, this is what's a proper disclosure, brother. This is how you properly disclose, okay? They have to do this because we're in court. We're not in AI land no more. The funder provided plaintiff with a forgivable loan. Oh, wow. Chat, have you got a forgivable loan? They have given the plaintiff a forgivable loan. Oh, my God. A forgivable loan. It's a forgivable loan in order to pay legal fees. So this funder has provided plaintiff with a forgivable loan in order to pay legal fees. Repayment is only contingent upon the result of this litigation, with repayment happening only upon and if the recovery exceeds the amount of the loan. So we don't even know the amount of the loan. With such repayment on a contingency basis. A forgivable loan. That's good. You know how many people I would sue if I had a forgivable loan? Wow. And the only way you got to pay it is if you get money exceeding the loan.
Damn.
Who the hell would do this? Well, we go back up. And the funder, their name is Insight Partner
Tamir Poleg.
I don't know. Let's just put Rock Nation. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know. Maybe we're manic. Oh. Insight Partners and Rock Nation both participated as co-investors in a major $325 million funded from Michael Rubin's digital sports platform and merchandising giant Fanatics, which boosted the company's valuation to $18 billion. Oh. 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 Jay-Z and Rock Nation invested in Michael Rubin's Fanatics, now valued at $18 billion. This was a funding round that closed at $325 million.
Hey, wasn't Michael Rubin a nigga that be throwing the white parties? Boy, got some explaining to do, huh?
Major investments came from Jay-Z, Rock Nation, MLB, SoftBank, Silver Lake, Elridge, TWG, and Insight Partners. The same Insight Partners that seems to be behind the company funding the lawsuit in a forgivable loan. Let me get this straight. So Insight Partners is funding a litigation against Drake, me, Steak, Aiden Ross, Grand Wizard through Polig LLC. They claim it's a forgivable loan. The other time we see them do anything, they're connected to Jay-Z in investing in Fanatics. Didn't I tell you about Fanatics Sportsbook? Didn't I tell you that there's gambling? Didn't What's the Dirt connect all of the groups that Fanatics is actually associated with that is supposedly anti-stake? Huh. So one of the major partners that's partnered with Jay and Rock Nation.
Yeah, so, and to put it into perspective for some people who like just are just like, well, why does this matter or what? Like, and why we know Jay-Z is definitely doing this is because he looks at this as an opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. He already doesn't like Drake for what he did with Apple Music. And now he looks at him across with Stake. Plus, he's with people who need to take down Stake. Drake is over there. Two birds, one stone. Let's really take these niggas out. And if I'm Jay-Z, I got the perfect recipe to take out Stake's biggest promoter, biggest promotion piece. Hello? I don't know. It sounded like Jay said, I got the perfect plan for us to dismantle Stake, which includes us dismantling their biggest ticket, their biggest draw card. They got Drake, who's obligated to stream for them. The nigga is pulling in crazy stream numbers. It's Drake. They have Drake on their side. Jay-Z knew from the Apple deal the potential and the needle mover that Drake was. Back then, he looked at it, he seen it. He knew that Drake would move the needle so far that the rest of them would be dead in the water. Because it's Drizzy Drake. You got one of the biggest fan bases in the world. Where he goes, a lot of people follow. And so, yes, there's been this relentless onslaught to take this man down. And subsequently, he also gets to take down a competitor with Stake. And so even if we do catch his hand in the cookie, in his hands in the cookie jar, what's he gonna say? Oh, this wasn't really about Drake. Is he gonna say Drake is just a casualty? You gonna say Drake was just a casualty and this was really about them and Stake? No, this is really about him and Drake and Stake. So shit, we just get to knock two birds out with one stone like this. It's crazy work. Because had Fanatics been the one with Drake, none of these lawsuits would exist. You guys know that, right? Had Fanatics, had Rock Nation, had Tidal been able to raise up Drake and, you know, do their thing that way, you know? And I don't know, maybe in Jay's shoes, he may feel like, well, I gave homie multiple looks on several albums. You know what I'm saying? And the least he can do is come fuck with me over here with this title thing. But as we see, like, Jay was ready to pull the rug under everybody, the wool over everybody's eyes, and pull the rug from underneath them. He was willing to do that, and he did. Nicki Minaj is still paying for it, standing on that stage next to him. And he's mad at Drake for being smarter, for not falling for the finesse. It's like, what are we really even talking about here?
For Fanatics is essentially behind the funding of a lawsuit with me, Drake, Aiden Ross, and Stake. Yeah, that got nothing to do with Jay. Yup. Yup. Got nothing to do with Jay. Nigga, it's clear as day. Chat, it's fucking clear as day. It is clear as fucking day. Let me look it up for you one more fucking time. 2 days ago, the nigga who's suing me and Stake and Drake literally had to divulge who is funding all of these big lawyers that they're getting. And we also see Impressa Legal Group, who was with suing in another state. They literally said the funder is Polig LLC. Polig LLC, one of their biggest investors, through seemingly its founder, is Insights. Okay? Is Insights, what is it, Insights Media or something? What is it called? Insight Partners. Just Google it. Who are the investors in Polig LLC? Who are the investors? Okay. By the way, it's gonna connect to this real thing because remember, the Polig guy, his name is Tamir Polig. So he's the guy. That's his company. Okay? So Polig LLC is this Tamir Polig guy, right? All you got to do, Insights Partners, Tamir Polig. Search that up. This is 2020. $20 million gets put in by Insight Partners. They're all in the same shit, bro. Then Insight Partners go in for Fanatics. It says it on the website. Insight Partners. Insight Partners. Remember, Polig LLC funded by Insight Partners. Remember, it said Polig LLC, it's getting money from Insight Partners. Insight Partners partnered with Fanatics, the market leader for sports merchandise of a technology, I wonder if this is coincidence. Don't hold your breath. Lauren LaRosa wouldn't even look this way. Nor what's his name? Mark Lamont? Yeah. What's the dirt? I'll be looking for the next episode. Trap Lord Ross, I'll be looking for the next episode. Flacco, I know you're gonna have a good time with this one. Chad, they say, yo, you can't find out who's funded, like who's after you act. Well, I think we just found it. We found out who's funding it. Right? We found out who's funding it. But just remember, some niggas getting funded by a forgivable loan by this company. And this company seems to be linked.
Yeah, I've never even heard of a forgivable loan, nigga. What's the point of it? Just give me the money, nigga. Why do we even... What? I've never even heard of a forgivable loan. Like, what the hell are we even talking about? This is some next level rich nigga shit that I wouldn't even know about. You know what I'm saying? It's above my pay grade.
To this company.
The fuck is a forgivable
and this
loan?
company has business with this company. And this company, we all know their lapdog is this guy. And that's their boss. I think that's pretty much we saw.
Yo, this is so crazy, right? This is so crazy, right? Because we did an article on Desiree Perez. Literally, okay? I tried to tell you niggas. I literally tried to tell you niggas. But I'm pretty sure I did an article on Desiree Perez. Look, we did two. Desiree Perez stimulus. How Rock Nation CEO weaponized power against her own blood. We posted that. New lawsuit document reveals psychological warfare, abuse, and false arrest by Rock Nation. I tried to tell niggas then. Look, this was last year. This is a year ago. I'm writing whole articles about this shit. Y'all niggas don't read. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like a little bit. You feel me? You feel me? But I was trying to say the shit. I'm like, I was doing deep dives into this woman. Okay? We did a whole deep dive into what bro, come on. So she didn't just commit a crime against her daughter and son-in-law, she built a machine for it. So the full federal complaint filed by Damore Hadley versus Perez Reads like a psychological thriller, except it's real. And y'all niggas thought I was playing when I said this shit. It was real. This is real life. That it's being smothered every day. Every single day. This shit is being smothered. Niggas is not trying to hear it. Even the video of the news report reporting all of this, you guys don't know what I had to go through to even find that video. It was in some back alley fucking YouTube channel. It wasn't even on an official Fox channel. They didn't even post it on any official Fox channels. It was like on some back alley local channel. It was crazy. Said page by page, year by year, we now see the unfoldings of a high-level operation fueled by ego, deception, and obsession orchestrated by Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez. This isn't just a story of mother gone too far. It's a sprawling timeline of manipulation, wiretapping, legal abuse, and even alleged sex trafficking. And the most disturbing part, the system enabled her. So we documented, we put a timeline of terror for you niggas. Damori Hadley started dating, in 2016, Damori Hadley started dating her now husband, Javon Hadley, triggering the obsessive hatred from her mother, who allegedly views the relationship as a threat to her control. From the outset, Perez reportedly threatens to destroy him, warning Javon that she has police, lawyers, and psychiatric institutions at her disposal. What are y'all niggas not getting? How are we okay? Top 5 Troy. How are we okay? How do you just don't care about motherfuckers having just running around with powers like this, nigga? Like this is fucking like some fucking psychological fucking move. Like what the fuck do you mean? What is this, power, nigga? This ain't power. Niggas don't care about this. This is just millionaires throwing money at each other. What are we talking about, brother? This was in 2016. In 2017, Perez allegedly wiretaps Damori Hadley's and Javion's bedroom, installing hidden camera recording devices. How the fuck did she do that? How did she accomplish such a thing? She places a former Roc Nation employee into their home as a plant, under the guise of being a friend to report on their conversations. And she's sending people out to just do these weird shit. In 2018, Perez reportedly begins isolating Damori from her husband, family, and friends. Javon is allegedly blacklisted from employment in industries Perez has influence over clubs, security, and even promotions. So now they're blacklisting her husband. We chronicle. I'm gonna put it out again for you niggas, but step by step, I tried to lay it out for you niggas how evil this woman is. In 2019, the mental abuse and control, Perez initiates forced psychiatric evaluations claiming Damori is delusional for believing she's being spied on, even as recordings show that she was being recorded all along. Psychiatric institutions allegedly admit Damori's based on false information from Perez and medical professionals on her payroll. In 2020, fabricated medical claims came. Doctors allege falsified reports of delusional disorder. I don't know why they would just say bitches delusional, but delusional disorder under Desiree's direction. Damori is forcibly medicated and detained at Perez's insistence, despite showing no clinical justification for psychiatric holds. In 2021, the arrest. She also got her husband arrested. He was arrested on false domestic violence claims, allegedly set up by Perez. The complaint states that officers showed up at the couple's residence at Perez's direction, and Javon was detained and released, but the damage was done. Their marriage suffered, and employment opportunity vanished. And yeah, any man in those shoes would probably be like, yo, bro, I'm not dealing with your crazy ass mom. This shit is almost not worth it. This is what Desiree Perez was driving her husband to divorce her daughter. The nigga was thinking about leaving because she was so relentless and how she came about going at him. In 2022, the Marchman Act weaponized, so Damari is detained again under the Marchman Act, used to commit individuals for substance abuse, despite not being a drug user. The basis falsifies affidavits allegedly coordinated by Perez and her network. In 2023, you got the trafficking allegation surfacing. Perez allegedly introduces Damari to a scheme involving Roc Nation's affiliated figure that the complaint likens to sex trafficking, placing her in environments where abuse was imminent under the guise of career opportunities. Physical and psychological collapse. So Damari is hospitalized after a breakdown, after all the psychological abuse and the people outside her home and following her and her husband and putting weapons in their car and getting into their fucking car in the fucking first place and planning listening and video devices in the first place is enough to give you PTSD, which is exactly what she subsequently developed from the ongoing harassment. In 2025, the lawsuit is filed. Damari files a suit naming not only Desiree Perez, but also a network of doctors, hospitals, private security contractors, and alleged shell companies, all of whom are accused of participating or enabling the abuse. So their networks of doctors, police, and her cartel ties obviously run deep. The lawsuit details a full infrastructure of medical institutions that detained Damari under false pretenses, doctors who diagnosed her with disorders she didn't exhibit, officers who responded to fabricated claims and actually carried out arrests, facilities that held her without cause, even Roc Nation affiliated personnel involved in surveillance and coercion. In Desiree, she allegedly orchestrated all of it, as I said here. So the enterprises to perpetuate her plot. So this quote from the complaint is the most chilling. Perez is accused of not just reaching out or reacting out of anger or paranoia, but actively building and funding institutions whose purpose was to further perpetuate her plot. Her plot being whatever that is, whether it's putting Tory Lanez in jail, whether it's taking down Drake and Stake. We were on to this shit and saying a lot of this shit a year ago. Now we are seeing the evidence. Come on, people. Come on. I wrote a whole article for you niggas. So she allegedly created LLCs and work fronts to funnel payments. Hello? This is what she did. This is her playbook. Her daughter laid it out for you niggas, and she can't talk anymore to say that this is her playbook. I'm here to tell you that we wrote articles, we documented, we broke down the court records, and this is her playbook. She allegedly created LLCs and work fronts to funnel payments. She allegedly paid off professionals to rubber stamp her agenda. She allegedly recruited people into their lives just to destabilize them. This is how much power and dedication she has to dismantling her enemies. This is how much dedication and how thorough she is to dismantling her enemies. And now you would say, now she has all these cartel ties. She burned the cartel back in the day. She somehow is still standing, is still ahead of $1 billion company. How? It's because she's still working with these people. It's because she's greased the palms of the people she's needed to grease the palms of. And she still has those ties to get anything done that she needs to get done. But again, I was saying all of this shit a year ago. We wrote a whole article. I'm going to keep saying this shit. Please check out the articles, guys. Please check out the articles because a lot of them still hold a lot of weight today. Okay? The work niggas was doing and still continue to do, it still holds. The psychological warfare. The lawsuit is rich in allegations of gaslighting and long-term coercive control. It claims Perez tried to discredit DeMaury to the public, portraying her as mentally ill, coerce her into admitting she had problems in order to be released, and use false arrest records and doctor documents to destroy her credibility. Does all of this not sound familiar? Does all of this not sound familiar? Meanwhile, Javon's employment opportunities evaporated. Their finances were destroyed, and they became prisoners of a narrative they didn't create. So my final thoughts with this article: if this all sounds too wild to believe, read the lawsuit yourself. This is what I told you. This is what I left you niggas with. I said read it yourself. This shit is crazy. I don't know how this didn't compel the most the biggest of these crime detective fans to go out there and say what it is. I don't know how. I don't know how. But I wrote all of this shit a year ago, telling you niggas and this is not me. Nigga, read the court documents yourself. This is just me reporting everything I read. We did a whole stream, of course, where I actually went page by page. And I think it was 100 and something. It was mad pages, my nigga. It was mad pages. I don't know. We was breaking down a lot of cases that year, but we read that entire case. This is just a summary. This is just a summary of those documents that came out about Desiree Perez and her daughter. Okay? This is just a summary. But this is real life what she does. Okay? This is real life what this woman does. And I want to go back to this part because it stood out to me reading it in the case. So I had to quote how important it is to what we are seeing today. How important it is to what we're seeing happening to Drake, academics, Stake, all of these people, what we're seeing happen today. It says this quote from the complaint is the most chilling. It says Perez is accused of not just reacting out of anger or paranoia, but actively. Listen to me, guys. Y'all not lit. Come on, man. Y'all gonna make me grab the sound effects, man. Y'all gonna make me grab the sound effects because y'all not listening to me. Y'all not listening to me, okay? Dead ass. Listen. Listen. The quote. This quote. Because look, I damn near even forgot I already laid this shit out a year ago. I'm going through this shit and it's damn near blowing my mouth out right now, okay? It's blowing my mouth out right now. This quote from the complaint is the most chilling. Perez is accused not just reacting out of anger and paranoia, but actively building and funding institutions whose purpose was to further perpetuate her plot. For people who don't know what that means, that can mean whatever Desiree Perez does not like, she is willing to build an entire company, an entire news article or news site, news website to get you the fuck out of here. This is in my article from a year ago. Yo, somebody please send this to academics. Somebody please send this to academics, bro. Somebody please send this to academics, bro. This is her playbook. This, Damori Hadley already told us that this is Desiree Perez. This is her playbook. Let me read it again for the people who don't understand. Yes, I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read it again. The quote from the complaint, this one right here, is the most chilling. Perez is accused of not just reacting out of anger or paranoia. She doesn't just react out of anger when you make her upset. She doesn't just react out of paranoia, but she actively builds and funds institutions whose entire purpose is to perpetuate and further her plot. Not just against her son and daughter, but anybody in the industry who goes against Rock Nation. Anybody. That goes for anybody. She allegedly created LLCs and work fronts to funnel payments. She allegedly paid off professionals to rubber stamp her agenda. She allegedly recruited people into their lives just to destabilize them. And we're not talking about this stuff here today. We're not talking about this stuff here today. Come on. Like, what are we really talking about? What are we really talking about? I wrote about this shit in the article. This is her playbook. And now we seeing. Now we are literally seeing right now that she is running this exact play on Academics, Drake, and Stake. The same exact play that was ran on Damori Hadley is being ran on Academics, Drake, and Stake. The evidence is right here. This is Desiree Perez's playbook. This is her playbook. This is how she gets down. No matter how you guys want to flip it, no matter how you guys want, this is how she gets down. It's her fingerprints all over it. Her fingerprints are all over this. Did a whole article on this shit. Year by year, step by step, chronicle by I chronicled it all for you. And if you don't believe me, again, I implore you guys to go back and read the article. I know I got it downloaded. I know I got it downloaded somewhere. For real, I know I got it downloaded. I know I got that article downloaded, brother. You feel me? Because that's one of them ones. That's one of them ones you don't just you don't just forget. I know I got it in here somewhere. I really just gotta find it. Hold on. Let me see if it's in here. Because now I'm compelled to find the actual case. Because there's gonna be niggas who call cap. There's gonna be niggas who don't believe you. There's a lot of people who think what we're talking about right now is cap. But I definitely gotta find that case. I might have it on my laptop though. To be honest, it might be on my laptop. It really might be on my laptop. Okay, it might be on my laptop. But yeah, but that's that was the purpose of this article, me putting out this article. And for real, I hope more people, and I'm gonna make sure that while I'm on it that we highlight it. But I hope more people see that this was a play that Desiree Perez normally carries out. The entire creating a fake website, having fake articles written, all of this stuff, Charlemagne coincidentally just happening to, he just happens to have this information. The same nigga who's taking a picture and playing in our faces, sitting right next to Desiree Perez at this point, just playing in our faces. He don't even give a fuck. Just playing in our faces, guys. And confidently too. But this is what's going on. This is literally what's going on. These niggas don't even care to hide it anymore, but he doesn't know that so many of us have done the homework already. So many of us have read and can connect the dots and can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that what you're seeing happening to academics, Drake and Stake, this is all her playbook. Read this article if you think I'm lying. Read the court documents if you think I'm lying. Don't just take my word for it. Don't just take my word for it. And when I do get those documents, because again, I think it's on my laptop, I got it downloaded. But when I do get those downloaded, those documents, expect me to 100%, expect me to 100% make those available again, okay? Because I don't know if it got cleared out or whatever, but I would love to pull up those documents again just to further show you guys in detail that the way Desiree Perez handled Damori Hadley and why she's going so hard to shut her up and make it so that she cannot speak is because she exposes a lot of her mother's tactics. She exposes a lot of the things that Desiree pays attention to and just how far she'll go to bury you in the ground. Okay? And to the people like, again, Top 5 Troy, who are asking, well, why does this matter? Well, this is just millionaires throwing money at each other. This is far beyond millionaires throwing money at each other, brother. This is far beyond people just tossing money back and forth and we just saying, well, if you really care about this shit, you have to be parasocial because these are millionaire problems. No, this is not millionaire problems, my brother. See, when we continue to let people with this much money and this much power just run amok unchecked, it becomes somewhat normal and it becomes somewhat expected. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not trying to normalize shit like this. I'm not here to normalize people kidnapping other people because you don't like who they're dating. Okay? I'm not here to normalize shit like that. That's not what I'm here to do. So if you niggas want to normalize people having all of this money and power and using it however they want, however they see fit, and infringing on your human rights, your natural born rights, as a man, as a woman, so be it. You don't have to see anything wrong. You don't have to see the issue with people like Rock Nation and Desiree Perez being able to operate in this industry freely, making it a danger for artists, women, and anybody basically who's on the opposite end of the table for them. Our favorite artists, some of the people we adore, to watch them get slandered, to watch them be harassed. If that's just okay with some of you niggas, then cool. I'm not here to force you niggas to fight a fight that you don't give a fuck about, because I don't fight fights that I don't give a fuck about. I'm not here to go straight boots to the ground and throw money and send money to Ukraine or no shit like that. So I get it to a certain degree. But after a certain point, being an artist, being somebody who wants to continue to work in this music industry, wants to continue to have a career, working with artists, working with talents, working amongst industry players, and I want a transparent industry to work in. I want a transparent working space, a transparent industry to know that if my son wants to do music, he won't be preyed upon. That's the kind of industry and legacy that I would like to create for myself and my family. I don't know about the rest of you niggas though. But hip hop is a part of my legacy, just as it is for so many others. So I don't see how we can claim to be these big hip hop fans and nerds and this, that, the third, when there are people, if you want to just be a watcher in the sky, Marvel style, you don't get involved, you don't have an opinion about anything, you just chronicleize the history, cool, hey, cool. That's your job, that's what you want to do, that's fine. But what's being documented in this article and in the case in the court documents that were put out, those things that were being documented, they can't just be ignored. We can't just continue to just ignore this behavior, because it's all cool and fine and dandy until it starts to affect you. Nobody cares about the gruesome, crazy, and ass backwards shit going on until it starts happening to them. And then all the people who said, well, we shouldn't allow this to just go on. People shouldn't just be allowed to lie and slander and destroy people's careers and lives and there be no consequence. You know? Yes, we feel vindicated that knowing this was orchestrated by something bigger than Kendrick Lamar, which we always knew, that's cool. We'll take that. But at the same time, we have to understand that what are we building for the future? What are we building for tomorrow? And people who have actively contributed to this industry, whether you be like a writer like myself, whether you be an artist, whatever it is that you do in this industry, you would want to be able to operate and pursue your passion and dreams without having to look over your shoulder, because people like this in the industry still are able to operate like this. This isn't the 60s anymore. This isn't the 80s. Artists have more power. The people have more power. We can use it. We don't have to just take this lying down and just be like, oh, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles when, okay, in some instances you say, yeah, look, that is the industry. We can't be mad because some people are playing the game and they're getting burned. But that doesn't mean we have to let certain shit continue to fly. I wrote this article last year because it spoke to me about how deeply involved Rock Nation could have been in this Tory Lanez case. Then come to find out that, you know, she did the same thing to her daughters. In 2016, Desiree Perez was weaponizing her power, noting that she has police, lawyers, and psychiatric institutions at her disposal. Who just has shit like that at their disposal? The police, okay. Lawyers, fine, you got the money. Psychiatric institutions? Doctors? She has all of these things. So when we go back and ask questions about bullet fragments, it doesn't seem so far-fetched about bullet fragments going missing and things like that. My thing is, when it comes down to Rock Nation and what we're trying to call out, is Rock Nation is at the point with the people where we can't let anything that sounds a little bit fishy just go off as coincidence. Now, the point of where we are at now with Rock Nation, everything must be investigated. Everything must be looked at with a fine-tooth comb. Everything must be looked at with a new set of eyes, with a new set of realization. That's why I'm going back to this article that we wrote a year ago. I wrote this article a year ago. Because then we knew that the time of keeping Jay-Z and Rock Nation in our good graces was over. It was done. It was done. I knew then it was finito. No longer can we say, well, bullet fragments going missing. It happens. No, not with these guys. We can't just chuck it up to shit happening. Not when we can say Desiree Perez has police, lawyers, and psychiatric institutions at her disposal. No longer can we just sit here and sit by and let that go and just be, well, a coincidence. No longer can we do that with Rock Nation because there's been too many coincidences. There's been too many odd stories. There's been too many people complaining about similar things and actions done to them. How many times are we going to say, well, these people are just tripping? How many times are we going to just chuck it up and just say, these guys are being manic? Oh, these Drake fans, they just, the battle's over, just get over it. This is bigger than that. This is way bigger than that. Because the type of power that is at display right here is enough to falsely put a nigga behind bars and have him sit there for 10 years thinking that you destroyed his career while he's out working half I would say even 90% of the industry behind bars. Even still. Even still. You know, we can continue to call everybody crazy. We can continue to hinge this on Drake and Kendrick Lamar having a battle. But the evidence has been looking us in our face for far too long. And I don't know who needs to see this. What's the dirt? Trap Lord Ross, DJ Academics. But please go back. If not, you don't even have to come to my article. Go back and read that original case, those original court filings. Go back and read how all of what we're seeing happening to Steak, Drake, and DJ Academics, Grand Wizard, all of what we're seeing is textbook, is documented right here. Right here. I put it right out for you guys. It's documented right here. All of this stuff is laid out. This is her playbook. This is par for the course if you know what to look for and where to look for it. And the people like myself who have been documenting these things and keeping a watchful eye on these things for so long, we know, we can tell that, yeah, these niggas ain't capping, because this sounds exactly like something she would do. This sounds exactly like something, and I'm sorry, I wish Academics would have pulled up with this article, since niggas is pulling up articles and shit. Fuck, just pull up an article by me, nigga. Niggas is pulling up AI articles, shit, nigga. Pull my shit up, because this would have showed you that what Charlemagne was reading was exactly what Damari Hadley was saying her mother was good for. She's good for this. She's good for this. So we're nearing a point where these things are becoming undeniable, but at the same time, but at the same time, breaking news. We can't just let these. We can't continue to let these things fly. Okay. We can't continue to let these things fly. I don't know if I want to get to this breaking news, because I'm not done getting into Desiree Perez's ass. But I just seen this. This is pretty compelling news. Some breaking news. So the NBA has found no evidence that Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through team's sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard and circumvent the salary cap. Sources told Baxter, this, that, the third. So they're basically saying that, yeah, all that shit that Javier Torres was saying was basically cap. Said the NBA has found no evidence showing LA Clippers owner Steve Ballmer funneled money through team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in order to circumvent the salary cap, according to 3 people with knowledge of discussions between the two sides in recent days. Instead, the NBA has focused on whether the team's introduction of Leonard's to team sponsors constitutes a violation of league's rules prohibiting the salary cap circumventions. 2 of the sources said. The league is examining whether the Clippers are guilty of a failure to supervise employees through its unclear what specific, though it's unclear, what specific rule the team would have violated or what the penalties would be, two of the sources said. The 11-month investigation into salary cap circumvention, alleged allegations expanded beyond Leonard's deal with aspirations, and now defunct Green Banking Company at the center of the allegations. At least three other companies that also had deals with the Clippers. Two of the sources familiar with the talks told ESPN, however, sources said the league has presented no evidence that Ballmer funneled money to Leonard. The league presented initial findings of its investigations, led by law firm Wacho, Lipton, Rosen, and Katz, to the Clippers in late July, according to multiple people familiar with the matter. In recent days, both sides have been negotiating a resolution to the investigation, the people said, and those talks, led by attorney David N. Kelly of the law firm O'Melvey and Myers. For Ballmer and Clippers and NBA General Counsel Rick Buchanan, at times have spirited one source. I don't know what that means. A spokesperson for the NBA did not respond to multiple requests for a comment. A spokesperson for the Clippers declined to answer questions about the nature or content of the NBA's initial findings or the ongoing discussions. But in a statement provided to ESPN, the Clippers said the team introduced players, including Kawhi Leonard, to the two companies in which we had business relationships. Making introductions between players and team partners is both an ordinary practice by the NBA teams and a common request of players and representatives. The statement is also said the team did not negotiate or dictate the terms of Leonard's endorsement deals. The fact that a player has an endorsement relationship with a company that also does business with his team is not evidence of salary cap circumvention, according to the statement. So that's basically what they're saying there. So, I guess what they're saying is there has been no wrongdoing there. We were waiting for a while to hear something come out of all of these allegations, and I want to see what the Pablo Torres guy has to say about this. This was news that came out only a little less than an hour ago, less than 45 minutes ago. So I wonder. I wonder what that means. Someone says 555. Come on now. Says, well, it looks like the Knicks could have offered advertisement deals to Mitchell Robinson if the NBA had declared sooner that they'd rather not deal with the headache. Stevie Wonder can see the evidence. They said, I'm not going to lie. I'm happy as fuck they didn't find anything, quote unquote. I want to see Kawhi on the Raptors again so bad. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, just reporting that. We'll see where that develops. We'll see where that goes. Yeah, who knows? Who knows where? Who really knows where that'll go? But I think that's kind of crazy. I was expecting, with all the clear evidence and the way Steve Ballmer was sweating and willing to throw these niggas under the bus, that he was 100% guilty. But hey, it is what it is. Okay. But yeah, back to Rock Nation and the shit that they got going on in the field. I think it's highly unfortunate that we continue to let a company like this, and so many people are afraid. Maybe it's because they have built relationships with Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, in one way or another. But again, if you read the case, you'll see that Rock Nation gets a lot of these companies and these mouthpieces and other people by the balls by way of help, by way of sponsorship, by way of throwing their money around and their clout around to solve your problems so that they may get what they want further down the road, or get your either complacency or your compliance, or your complacency somewhere down the road. You know what I mean? Which is, again, if you read the case, it's par for the course. It's kind of how they operate. They got a whole company, for goodness sakes, where her daughter works at, to set her up for a psych evaluation. Basically saying her daughter, who was working at the company at the time, was not fit to make her own decisions, in exchange for Rock Nation basically pulling their company out of the gutter, saving these niggas from damn near bankruptcy, if I can remember correctly. Okay, this is all, again, par for the course when it comes down to Rock Nation. This is what they do. This is what they have done. She used her ability and, her funds to do whatever it is she had done. And she didn't really care about how messy things would get, or, she didn't care about all of that. She only cared about the end result, the end game, which was, nigga, you gonna do what the fuck I told you to do. I don't want you dating this guy. I don't want y'all getting married. I don't want any of this stuff going on between you guys. And just imagine, you can't even be intimate in your own home because niggas is watching you unknowingly at that. So now you got to come back and double back and think about all the things that this person could have possibly just been sitting here watching you like you need a fucking a fucking baby can, a nanny can. What kind of psychotic shit is that? And when you look, people like that have true issues. Real true issues. I want to make sure, hold on, because I know I may have also, I don't know if I did some videos on it too recently. Maybe we can just go to the channel. But even when it comes down to the videos that we've done, let me just go to us. When it comes down to the videos, I know we've talked about this in great detail. Hold on. Because we laid a lot of this shit out last year. And again, I laid a lot of this shit out regarding, I laid a lot of this shit out regarding what was going on, and mainly because what was going on with Tory Lanez. But it goes beyond Tory Lanez, and luckily, again, we documented certain things because had we not, it wouldn't it would be easier for these guys to just run plays on us and act like we don't remember certain things happening and going on. So let me see here. I'm trying to see because I know I gotta have a video on this. Well, I do. Which video is the thing, or it might be a live stream. That's where I might. Yeah, I probably gotta look at the lives. And again, we broke that shit down detail by detail. Let me see here. Is this before the... I think some of this happened before the Diddy trial, because we was on the Diddy trial stuff heavy. What is this? Damn, I wish I could find it. Yeah, I know I did. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. I know I did a couple of them. Yeah, all three of them. Back to back to back. Damn. Niggas did a 4-hour long stream on this stuff, but let me see if I can even find. I might have to. I'm your boy, Dope Boy Diesel. I hope you stepped in. I'm your boy. Nation is. We need to show them that this is deeper than rap. Let me see if I can still find this video since I got the title of it. Look how the video is titled though. Just look though. South Florida woman alleges conspiracy in Baker Act lawsuit. Just look at the video. I don't even have to look how these niggas was hiding the vid. This does not say any other. Let's just be real. This is the Rock Nation CEO's daughter. And it says South Florida woman alleges conspiracy in Baker Act. What? Baker Act. Let me see if we can still find the video. It might be. Okay, it's still here. It's still here. But look what happens when we look up the video of Damori Hadley. This is Desiree Perez's daughter. Just look what pops up. Lawsuit claims Florida woman was wrongfully Baker acted. South Florida woman alleges conspiracy in Baker Act. Any other time, this would say Rock Nation CEO wrongfully Baker acted daughter, family member, etc., etc. Let's be real. This just goes to show you how far. This is NBC, by the way. NBC, what does NBC have to hide? But this just goes to show you how far. This is their official channel. NBC South Florida.
Video that she says proves her case and raises questions about how this law meant to protect people can be implemented. NBC6 investigative reporter Amy Batteri takes a closer look.
prevent me from leaving the room.
The incident started on March 27th.
Now look and see what this woman is capable of. I'm trying to get you guys to understand exactly what kind of power and how far this woman will go just to make a point. Just to make a point. This is
last year.
2024.
So legally, I can't go home.
No.
Why?
Body camera video shows Broward Sheriff's deputies met on the side of the road in Dania Beach.
Hello. How's it going? How's it going?
By this man.
I'm waiting for a car to go by. There's a girl driving it. She's like a kind of mentally unstable person.
BSO has not responded to inquiries about who called the deputies there, but it appears they're taking direction from the man in the gray t-shirt.
She's heading over here right now. You needing her or? Yes, they have a GPS on her.
He asks deputies to follow him to a nearby parking lot once she arrives.
I have a doctor, Dr. Boba from Hollywood Memorial Hospital, who's over there right now waiting for her to show up. And he's going to fake her out.
And when I showed up, it obviously was not an estimate.
Demore Hadley says she was lured to that parking lot by someone posing as a potential client for the landscaping company she runs with her then boyfriend, now husband. But according to her lawsuit, when she showed up, she was approached by several people.
We're going to take her.
Including Dr. Daniel Bober, the chief of psychiatry at Memorial Regional Hospital, who also runs a private practice and has been featured as a mental health expert on media outlets, including NBC6.
I already knew I had intuition. Something is not right here.
Deputies also had questions for those present, at least at first.
Who are you guys? So we're a mobile crisis team working with Dr. Boba from Hollywood Memorial Hospital. Okay.
Memorial Healthcare tells us there is no mobile crisis team affiliated with the hospital, and Dr. Bober did not respond to our inquiry. We found the people seen here, James Fondo and Stephen and Jessica Cady, are actually owners of Sig9, a private security company. The men, both former high-ranking BSO officers, according to their bios.
Am I being detained?
For now, you're being detained.
The Baker Act, which Dr. Bober was citing, allows a physician to order someone they've examined in the previous 48 hours be held against their will in a mental health facility if they pose a risk to themselves or others, and the doctor can ask law enforcement to take them there.
He's not my doctor. He's never seen me in my life.
A concern Demore raises several times in the video.
He's a doctor. He's part of the mobile crisis unit.
I've never spoken to him.
I don't care.
And she also says he never examined her. On the Baker Act paperwork, Dr. Bober certified he did that exam at 5:56 p.m. that day. The same time, video shows them all still in that parking lot. He diagnosed her with an unspecified psychosis, adding she was a risk to herself.
I have 3 different collateral sources of information that say that she's been acting psychotic, that she threatened to overdose yesterday.
What he told me was, we received a call from your family that you tried to OD the night before, and you're being Baker acted. And my question was like, what are you talking about?
Experts tell us it's common for doctors to take families' concerns into account, and ultimately the decision to Baker Act someone is up to the healthcare professional on scene. In the lawsuit, Demore says she has no mental health history and does not use illegal drugs. She also shared records from Memorial Regional showing drug test results from that day were negative.
I have concerns about how all of this happened.
Attorney Hilton Napoleon is representing Demore in the lawsuit she filed this month, alleging she spent nearly 2 weeks falsely detained under Florida's Baker Act and Marchman Act, a similar law that allows involuntary substance abuse treatment. She claims it all stems from an ongoing dispute between Demore and her own mother, who denies the allegations, saying in a motion to dismiss the lawsuit that the family attempted to get help out of concern for her daughter's physical and mental well-being.
I've been practicing law for 20 years and I've never seen a case like this before.
Demore's lawsuit claims deputies never verified the identity of the individuals on scene and took their word despite Demore repeatedly voicing concerns. In a statement, Sig9 says they were engaged by a licensed mental health professional to assist with a voluntary transport for psychiatric evaluation to avoid the need for law enforcement intervention.
So
I can't drive myself?
No, you're going to have to go with them.
Video shows Demore asked to be transported by deputies and was told this.
I can't ride with you and you guys take me?
You're going to be in handcuffs, so dog's not going to be able to come?
I don't want to be in handcuffs.
Okay. So I'm going to wait. We're going to take you to their vehicle.
A deputy encourages Demore to get into this truck.
You can't just force a woman into a dark gray truck without validating or verifying the story that's being told.
A BSO spokesperson says the incident is now under review.
I don't think I've ever felt so alone and unseen and unheard in my whole entire life.
Memorial Healthcare tells us they can't talk about this case because of the pending lawsuit. Dr. Bober told us initially he couldn't discuss the case because of privacy restrictions. Then DeMaury provided a release allowing him to speak with us, but so far we have not heard back. In a statement, Sig9 denied the allegations, adding, "Our role was limited, lawful, and conducted in good faith under the direction of a licensed physician." Again, DeMaury's mother denies any wrongdoing, claiming her actions are based on legitimate concern. Coming up tomorrow, we take you inside this legal fight involving some wild allegations. Amy Viteri, NBC6 News.
So, yeah, that was the video. And I just wanted to, again, it's important to look at that because just seeing how hard it was to find that video. Only at about 261K views, which is light if you ask me, because this should say Roc Nation CEO, Desiree Perez, something. With titles like this, there's nothing to tie this back to Damari Hadley. You would have to actually watch the video or know what to look for or where to look for it. This is not even just a video that you can just happen upon. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do, and this is done on purpose because the people that the algorithm is going to automatically push this to is the people who know and are, you know, either fans or have knowledge of who Roc Nation is, i.e. hip-hop fans, i.e. people in these spaces who would be able to easily call this shit out and wake this shit up way more. But they, you know, ever since last year, were doing everything they could to stop the bleeding, if you ask me. And I think what I found here is the original complaint. Okay, this is 64 pages, which we read last time. But this is basically what's contained in my article. Again, you can read my article for a summary of what was going on. But this, again, is just to show that Desiree Perez has a playbook. And if you know what to look for, 100% you will be able to call it out, okay? So this complaint comes from Damari Hadley, of course. She was a citizen, of the state of Florida and a resident of Miami-Dade County, Florida, which is the Southern District of Florida. The defendant, Desiree Perez, formerly known as Desiree Rose Gonzalez, Desiree Reynoso, and Desiree Lopez, was a citizen for the state of New Jersey. Defendant, Roc Nation, was a New York corporation engaged in commercial activity throughout the United States. Defendant Desiree Perez was its chief executive officer. So I think this far down the case, she was able to get Roc Nation taken out of the case and everything, even though she's clearly using Roc Nation funds and, you know, their power and influence to make these things happen. So yeah, defendant Daniel Barber was a citizen of the state of Florida. Yada yada yada. It's listing more of the defendants. Okay, this court has subject matter jurisdiction over this action. Plaintiff requests that this court exercise supplement jurisdiction over the state law claims. Facts giving rise to the claims. This case gives meaning to the phrase, "You wouldn't believe it until you see it." It says, this shit gets a couple of, hold on. This shit is stupid. Hold on. Yeah. Jurisdiction and venue. The court has subject matter jurisdiction over this act. Okay, that's not it, but let's get back to this. It says, giving rise to the clause, just so you know what it means. It's basically saying, Desiree Perez, Desiree, is a former drug trafficker, confidential informant, and convicted felon who is now the CEO of Roc Nation in New York City. This is basically just like a little cheat sheet, so it gives context to what's being read in the case and being said and discussed. Demore Hadley, Javon Hadley, we know who they are. Demore met Javon while they attended Palmetto Senior High School. Demore and Javon have been together for the past 15 years and got married in 2024. This complaint will refer to them collectively as the Hadleys. So basically just giving context, all that, yada, 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 yada. Let's get into what the complaint is actually saying. Okay, so following Desiree's federal indictment and arrest, she was originally sentenced to 30 months imprisonment. However, Desiree became a confidential informant and provided information to federal law enforcement, which caused the government to file a motion eliminating her 30-month prison sentence. While engaged in narcotics trafficking activities, Desiree gave birth to Demore in November 1994. Even after Demore's birth, Desiree continued to engage in criminal conduct. For instance, local law enforcement arrested Desiree in April 1996. Demore was 2 at the time, for a slew of fraudulent criminal activity, including organized fraud, grand theft, and several counts of uttering a forged instrument. What I would like to be answered is, how does all of this become the CEO of Rock Nation? Does nobody have these questions? Fraudulent criminal activity included organized fraud, grand theft, and several counts of uttering a forged instrument. CEO of Rock Nation, $1 billion. When Desiree got arrested on state court charges, she had already been sentenced to federal prison, but was still out on bond. Her surrender date got delayed to at least August 12, 1996. As shown on her federal probation affidavit, Desiree later fled to New York while on probation and became a fugitive from justice. In March 1998, New York officials arrested Desiree for grand larceny, criminal use of drug paraphernalia, and criminal possession of a firearm. She was toting that thing, okay? She didn't give a fuck. She was toting that. You know what I mean? She was toting it. She didn't give a fuck. Demore in the back seat, 2 years old. She had that thing. She had the drugs. She didn't give a fuck. So, she pled guilty in New York State Court, but was only sentenced to a conditional charge, to conditional discharge. She eventually was sentenced to 9 months imprisonment for violating federal probation. Choosing a life of crime over motherhood, Desiree dumped her infant daughter, Demore, on Demore's maternal grandfather, Julio, and his longtime partner, Olga. Growing up, Demore referred to Julio as abuelo and Olga as mommy, which Desiree despises to this day. In 2002, almost fresh out of prison, Desiree somehow became the owner of the 40/40 Club in New York. Now let's stop there. What kind of ties do you have to come straight out of prison and go right into owning Jay-Z's 40/40 Club? Let's see if maybe, is there anything that can help us answer that question? We're gonna find out. How did Desiree Perez go from prison to instantly owning the 40/40, well, not owning, but running the 40/40 nightclub? And when was this? Maybe we can get some more information. Why not? We here, we live, fuck it. Maybe we can get some more information. So this was in 2002. In 2002, after her release? Huh? No? Is that not a valid question? I asked you guys. Is that not a valid question? Yes or no? Is it not a valid question to ask how somebody who was all the way up until 2002 was leading a life of crime and went straight into the music industry, straight into Jay-Z's pocket? This woman is a criminal, guys. But let's stick to the question at hand. Let's stick to the question at hand. We won't jump the gun just yet. Okay? Maybe somehow we can research and figure out an answer to these questions. Maybe somebody, because I seen some comments telling me I need to chill, but if we're not going to chill, are you going to give any other information for, are we giving any other information up or what? I don't know. Let's see. She had a criminal history, served. We just went through that. We know her criminal background. Perez has experience in a New York nightlife dating back to the early mid-90s. Cell phone beeper sales leading into promotion and management of hip-hop clubs included booking acts. In 1996, she booked an up-and-coming Jay-Z and DJ Clark Kent at one of her venues, which started their professional relationship. Okay? So, 1996, while she was, apparently, this is when she was arrested, right? Because in 1996, yeah, her surrender date got delayed at least August 1996. So she's apparently running clubs and shit like that, but she's also moving work. Like she's moving work. So her and Jay-Z go back all the way to, they were friends basically since the year I was born. Okay? They've been friends for quite a long time. And which I'm guessing, although she was a criminal and I guess Jay-Z, a fixer for Jay-Z, that helped her and elevated her position, because this is when Jay-Z seen just how valuable she could be. So by around 2000, she was involved with Baseline Studios, Jay-Z's recording space, helping with financial operations, accounting aspects, along with Juan Perez, her future husband, often called OG, later president of Rock Nation Sports. Juan suggested opening a sports bar / club with Jay-Z, and this became the 4040 Club. And this is how she eventually worked her way there. So that's how she basically went from jail to running the 4040 Club. She was always tied in to this nightlife, moving work, drugs, Jay-Z, all of that shit. Jay-Z used to move work as well. So it all coincides and goes hand in hand. But at the end of the day, all that to say that she is a professional criminal, lifelong criminal. At least at this point in her life. But one could argue that she's still committing crimes, so yes, she is a lifelong criminal. Yeah, for sure. One could definitely come to that conclusion. Okay, so she's jealous of the relationship that Damari Hadley has with her grandparents because she wasn't there. She went to help Jay-Z build Rock Nation, basically. Okay, her husband and Jay-Z and all that good stuff. As related to this lawsuit, Desiree conspired with others. Hold on. So let's back up a little bit. So Desiree has mostly remained in the greater New York City area since then and chose money, power, and influence at all costs. To the outside world, it appears that Desiree turned her life around and became a successful CEO. But secretly, Desiree continued to engage in acts exposing herself and others to both civil and criminal liability, which state prosecuted noted in her closed count memorandum relating to Javion's arrest. She's still on that. That's what Damari Hadley is saying today. Well, this was technically a year ago, but still today, she's saying Desiree Perez is still on that. Yeah, she's still on that bullshit. Okay? As related to this lawsuit, Desiree conspired with others to illegally record the Hadleys in their bedroom, hack Damari's iPhone, and unlawfully detain the Hadleys on several occasions, which included coercing false evidence against them. Candidly, it is difficult to imagine that a mother would do the acts listed below to her own child, but the screenshots included in this complaint say otherwise. She's on that. She's unhinged. You know, she's a person who is not used to not getting her way. And with all of this money and all of this power, a person like Desiree Perez is not really used to people saying no or giving her pushback to what she wants. So we're not going to go through the whole case, even though this shit is from start to finish. Like I said in my article, it reads like a true crime, like some weird soap opera shit. Okay. So Desiree at an unknown time conspired with others to suspiciously plant a camera into the Hadleys' bedroom without their knowing, which existed since at least the 18th of July, all the way back to 2022. 2022. She's planting devices on people, things like that. And again, we're going through this because a lot of people are smart. A lot of people are going to be able to go through this and say, you know, a lot of this stuff sounds familiar. A lot of this stuff sounds very familiar. Desiree literally admitted this fact in a frivolous lawsuit she filed against Javon. In her complaint, Desiree even included a snapshot from the illegal recording device in the Hadley's bedroom. In addition to the illegal cameras, Desiree also planted a listening device inside her bedroom. Unknowns to the Hadleys, Desiree kept both recording devices in the bedroom for years. You hear me? That is crazy. Years. Imagine niggas just listening into you in your bedroom with your wife or your husband for years. God knows what the fuck they heard. God knows all the conversations they can misconstrue and use as a weapon against you. But again, we're going through this because this is Desiree Perez. This is her playbook. This is what she does. Damari Hadley has witnessed her mother. Hold on. Desiree has also hacked or directed her highly trained technical staff at Rock Nation. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all not hearing me. We wrote about this shit. We broke this shit down a year ago. A year ago. I'm telling you niggas. We did that. A year ago we was trying to tell you niggas. A year ago we was trying to tell you niggas. Right here. We wrote articles about this shit. A year ago. A year ago. I just broke down what I read in this in the same shit I'm reading to you niggas right now. The same shit. A year ago, these were the tactics that were being exposed. This shit was being put to the forefront, and a lot of people ignored it. The Lauren LaRosas ignored it. Where were they at? The Mark Lamont Hills ignored it. The Joe Buttons didn't talk about it enough. They said they don't care about what's going on between families, somebody and their daughter, and all of this extra shit. Y'all said y'all didn't care about a woman being kidnapped in broad daylight as a grown woman by her mother. She hacked her iCloud. Okay? She's hacking people's devices. She has the capability to do so. And she uses it regularly. She's making AI websites, articles, journalists, and fake lawsuits with lawyers who will just back it just because. Just because. I'm trying to connect the dots for you niggas. A lot of us have been trying to connect the dots for you niggas for a long time. Desiree also hacked or directed her highly trained technical staff at Rock Nation to hack Demore's iCloud, giving Desiree's unfettered access to Demore's digital data, including text messages, photographs, and videos. This bitch moving like she's 007. You feel me? She moving like she 007. She moving like she's in what's the shit? What's the shit that the other British spies, Kingsmaids, Kingsmakers, Kingsmen. She moving like she in Kingsman, nigga. What is this, a 007 movie? Special Ops? Who do you have? What kind of niggas do y'all have hired at Rock Nation that know how to hack iPhones? What does that have to do with music? What does that have to do with the music industry? Why do y'all have niggas on payroll who are hacking? Who know how to hack niggas? Why? Why do you need that? Who know how to hack iCloud accounts? Private investigators. Demore Hadley has witnessed her mother direct her tech team at Rock Nation to infiltrate other people's digital data, including an instance where Desiree wanted to determine how a chart-topping artist's upcoming movie got leaked. Okay? Let me read that again. Demore has witnessed both eyes. Seen it with her own eyes. Okay? Seen it with her own eyes. This is what she's putting in court documents. She witnessed her mother direct her tech team. Desiree Perez has a tech team who, of course, if they can do this, they can, of course, make an AI website. I'm speaking this stuff because Demore Hadley can't say anything else. There's nothing else that she can say. She can't do any more interviews. She can't talk on this stuff anymore. So it's up to us to wake this shit up. Desiree Perez has a tech team, at Rock Nation to infiltrate other people's digital data, including an instance where Desiree wanted to determine how a chart-topping artist's upcoming movie got leaked. Why are these, what do you need these kind of people working at Rock Nation for? What does she need top-tier tech teams and hackers working at Rock Nation for, guys? Questions that are still unanswered. But here we are, we're watching DJ Academics fight for his life because he doesn't have these dots and information readily available for him before he goes to sit down in front of a Charlemagne to ask him things like this. Well, how do you sit in front of a lady who has all of these? Can you confirm that Desiree Perez has a tech team at Rock Nation of hackers? Can you confirm that Desiree Perez doesn't have backing, the backing of doctors, lawyers, psychiatric institutions? Can you confirm these things? In a lot of instances, they can't. They don't have anything to say about this. You'll look and you'll bring a lot of this stuff to these people's attention and mum's the word. Damori first realized her mother hacked her iPhone on March 2024. On that day, Javon and Damori's friend Sergine called Damori after noticing that Damori's cell phone and Apple Watch were pinging in New York. Shorty was tapped in, logged in, just watching, just looking, reading. How many more people has she hacked and just been able to watch their every move as they plan it? Anything you text, she saw it. Anything you said in the confidentiality of your home behind closed door, she heard it. What kind of person is this? Who does shit like this? Damori's Apple Watch also showed it was located at 538 West 26th Street in New York. Ask where that's at. When Damori checked her iCloud account on her iPhone, which she had in hand in Miami, it showed that iPhone 2 on her account was pinging to Rock Nation's headquarters in New York. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. But let's get into some of the things. Of course, we know that she hacked her. She had listening devices. All of those things. Okay? All of those facts were going on. But let's get to even more. I want to get to this. The investigators. Okay? So although Desiree told officers, this is after, now we're picking up after she started threatening and harassing her and trying to get her Baker acted, okay? Which is what this lawsuit is primarily about. So although Desiree told officers that Victoria Hunter is a therapist, Ms. Hunter has never been a licensed therapist in Florida. Desiree convinced Ms. Hunter to lie to the police and falsely claimed that she was a therapist. The type of shit that she's doing. Damori was not interested, I'm guessing, in her mother's intervention and demanded to leave. However, Desiree prevented Damori from leaving by confiscating her dog. Desperate to leave, Damori attempted to climb over the mother's security fence. Desiree pulled Damori back. They had a little kerfuffle. I'm trying to get to where we're seeing some more familiar actions. So Damori called 911 and requested police assistance. Desiree flaunted her power as CEO of Rock Nation and claimed she had the Pinecrest police in her pocket. Okay? Again, Let's read that again. Desiree flaunted her power as CEO of Rock Nation and claimed she had the Pinecrest police in her pocket. This is stuff she's actively saying and admitting to her daughter. Flaunting to her daughter. Pinecrest police officers arrived on the scene and eventually forced Desiree to allow her daughter to leave, but due to her influence, the officers did not press charges against Desiree for false imprisonment. That's crazy. The same day, Desiree showed up to Demaury's grandfather's home where the Hadleys were staying or residing. Desiree confronted Javion and told him, "I know everything that happens with you and Demaury. If you stay here with her, you're going to get yourself killed." Again, let's read that again. Desiree Perez is telling Demaury Hadley's husband, "I know everything that happens with you and Demaury. If you stay with her, you're going to get yourself killed." Now let's stop for a second. Let's stop for a second, okay? And let's ask ourselves, how does the CEO of Rock Nation have the power to get someone killed? How does that happen? How is she so confident that she still has it to get you knocked off if she really needs to get you knocked off? Come on. Come on. I'm just trying to give you guys the opportunity to think for yourselves for a little bit. I'm reading this shit out. Based upon Desiree's threats, and the Hadleys moved out of Demaury's grandfather's home on October 2023 and into a home located in Homestead, Florida. In response, now let's get into more of these actions that sound quite familiar, okay? In response, Desiree rented the house directly across the street from the Hadleys. So if you guys are seeing these private investigators, things like that, odds are Desiree Perez probably set them up and got them real comfortable right there on your fucking block. Okay? Right on your fucking block. So that they don't even really have to go too far to keep an eye on you. Yeah, that's the type of shit that she's doing. Literally, that's the type of shit that she's doing. And that's the type of shit that Rock Nation, we're seeing that Rock Nation has been doing all year long. Ain't that funny? Ain't that funny? We're hearing some of these similar patterns of behavior coming out of Rock Nation. This is a year ago, claims from her daughter that she put out into this case. In response, she rented a house directly across the street from the Hadleys in Homestead, pointed a camera towards their home, and ordered private investigators, many of who were unlicensed, to stalk and harass the Hadleys. So not only does she use private investigators, but she uses unlicensed private investigators. So basically, fucking anybody. Anybody. These people could be anybody calling themselves private investigators, for real. These people could be cartel members. These people could be mob members, mob ties, gang members. I mean, you name it. Hitmen. Who fucking knows at this point? Ex-CIA. They got ties with the Obamas. They have clear working relationships with the Obamas. Who knows? Who knows? The investigators who stayed across the street from the Hadleys worked for CTS Research, Incorporated in New York City. CTS investigators followed the Hadleys 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They were paid. This was their Desiree Perez made it their full-time job to stalk and harass her opposition. Where have we heard this from before? Where have we heard this from before? I'm just asking. Simple question. Simple question. Are y'all not hearing this? We have to bring this up to double back on this information, but are y'all not hearing this? Understand her tactics. Understand the way she operates and how she goes about moving and fighting against people. This is all sounding very familiar, is it not? Many times, the CTS investigators followed the Hadleys at unsafe distances in their cars, causing the Hadleys to fear for their safety while driving. On one occasion, a CTS investigator who was unlicensed had a gun laying on the front seat while following Javion. Yes, y'all are hearing this right. Yep. Read it and weep for yourself. I don't just cap. I don't just cap. I don't lie. No reason to. Read the court documents. Why are you sending armed? And I want people to be careful, especially people like What's the Dirt. Because Desiree Perez is not just sending any old private investigators at you. She's sending unlicensed, armed, gun-toting private investigators to follow niggas for 24 hours, 7 days a week, making that their full-time job. Does none of this stuff sound familiar? Do we still have to say, oh, well, if all of this is true, well, if all of this checks out, how many fucking people have to say it? How many people have to come and say the same pattern of behavior and expose the same pattern, the same type of pattern of behavior coming out of this company? Coming out of this entity of people. How many times must the same type of behavior be exposed before people say, you know what? We got to look into some of this stuff. You know what? People has a point. We have a point. Are you people that much afraid? Are you people that scared to lose what you built? Does Rock Nation have that much power over the platforms and the things that you guys have built? Or is it that you guys don't want to be subject to this? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unlicensed, armed private investigators following you around. Said below is a camera used by Desiree's investigators, and they took a picture of it. You see the camera sitting right here at the corner of the window. Desiree conspired with DeMaurie's employer, Iconic, also. After her first plot failed, Desiree upped the stakes to have DeMaurie committed. Since January 2021, DeMaurie worked for a creative agency in Miami called Iconic Creative. Of course, Iconic often worked events for Rock Nation and its artists. For 2.5 years, DeMaurie's salary at Iconic was approximately $65,000 a year, and the company was in financial distress. The fact that the owners shared with DeMaurie. But in October 2023, right after Desiree threatened to Baker Act Demore if she did not leave Javon. Demore received a salary increase from $65,000 a year to $125,000 a year. Over doubled her salary, basically, almost doubled. And upon information and belief, Desiree stepped in and helped resolve Iconic's financial problems with strings attached. Demore found it odd because she knew about the company's financial situation. She was also ecstatic about her pay increase, of course. But little did she know what was to come. Suddenly, Iconic began asking Demore to stay late, work longer hours, and to frequently travel. While some of the demands made sense at times because of the pay increase, Demore did not realize that a nefarious plot was on the way, i.e. split up Demore and Javon. On December 12, 2023, Elizabeth Liz Fragnalia and Benny, the owners of Iconic, texted Demore stating that she was required to attend a meeting with the Nike Academy following day, December 13th, 2023. Demore found it odd that Liz and Benny told her to attend a Nike Academy meeting because the Nike Academy was revamping its workshops. When Demore signed into Zoom, only one person, Rachel Thomas, was at the training. Demore found this to be odd because every other training meeting with the Nike Academy consisted of at least 20 people. Rachel Thomas signed into Zoom and identified herself as a representative from the Nike Academy. Rachel then began asking Demore questions that were unrelated to work. Demore, suspicious of Rachel's intent, asked Rachel if she could record the conversation. Rachel consented. Demore recorded the conversation and took a screenshot of Rachel. Rachel proceeded to give Demore a quasi-psychological evaluation without Demore's approval or consent. Upon information and belief, Desiree conspired with Liz and Benny, the owners of Iconic, to have Demore undergo a mental health evaluation with Rachel. After the training, Demore asked for Rachel's Nike Academy profile. Rachel agreed to provide it, but did not do so immediately, probably because it had not been created. A few days later, Demore received a fake link showing Rachel's false affiliation with the Nike Academy. So, fake links. She got a little doctored picture. They threw this whole little website together. Sound familiar, right? Again, this is textbook for the Rock Nation tech team over there, okay? Desiree's tech team, this is their signature. This has the writing all over it. Upon information and belief, Desiree or Liz and Benny asked someone to create a fraudulent website. The website was later deleted. Sound familiar once again? After Liz and Benny realized that Demore was becoming suspicious. Liz and Benny required Demore to attend 2 other training sessions with Rachel Thomas. The last one occurred right before Christmas. At the time, Demore did not know Rachel's true identity. But the reality, Rachel Thomas was really a woman named Rachel Bernstein. Rachel Bernstein is a licensed marriage and family therapist from California who specializes in sexual cults and has a podcast on sexual cult recovery. Holy shit. And we went through a little bit of her podcast and some of the weird shit that they be talking about. You can go back on that stream and if you want to go through some of that stuff. So upon information and belief, this was just a ploy by Desiree to have Demore improperly evaluated. She found some cuckoo therapist to evaluate and basically do whatever the fuck she would tell her to do. And this cuckoo therapist, or whatever you want to call her, went in and posed I don't even see how you can call yourself a therapist when you're willing to falsely pose as a Nike representative and try to coerce somebody into a unsolicited meeting where you are psychiatrically evaluating them under their against their will. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy work. Her license should be taken. She should never be able to practice in the state of California again. And I hope that we get her out of here. And I'll be doing some more research to see if she's still practicing. But she doesn't even really sound like a real therapist. She sounds like a loon. She does have, like I said, a channel who she's trying to do this cult recovery because she was some thought back in the day who was just throwing it around and was having orgies and doing all of this demonic shit back in the day. And so she somehow has a relationship with Desiree Perez. Don't ask me how she found this woman, okay? But somehow she has a relationship with the CEO of Rock Nation, who was able to get her to falsely pose as a Nike representative and evaluate Damore Hadley. So again, you guys see how much power Desiree Perez has. It's important that we go and we pull stuff up like this. Again, this entire case is crazy. I implore you guys to, if you don't want to read the document, at very least come over here and read my article where I line all of this shit out, and I basically chronicalized all of this. And you know, we go into detail about just how fucked up Rock Nation and in particular Desiree Perez is. And now again, I wanted to go through all of this information to show you guys that this is 100%. It has Desiree Perez's name all over it. It has her tech team's name all over it. And when it comes down to, you know, what happened that day between Academics and Charlemagne about a month ago, you can tell who's behind it if you look at the patterns of behavior. If you look at the pattern of how these people throw their money and power around, you can kind of see that there's a pattern to, again, how Desiree Perez in particular deals with her enemies, okay? Very much cutthroat, very relentless, and she will very much do whatever she has to do. She'll hire anybody she'll have to hire, from lawyers to doctors to police officers. I mean, again, some of the things she was telling her own daughter, flaunting that she had the police department in her pocket. Mind you, this is a woman who's based in New York City, who's flaunting the power that she has over the police department in Florida. In Florida. Come on, guys. Like, you know, after a while, again, we got to stop playing these games. We got to stop playing these games and start calling things for what they are. And people are not stupid. A lot of people are stupid, but people ain't this damn stupid. But that's just, what, 3 or 4 pages out of a 64-page document that really goes into detail the horrors that Damore Hadley faced dealing with her mother and this relationship. And don't worry, I'm going to make sure I actually download these files this time, okay? Because there's been a lot of updates since then. But yeah, it is pretty crazy, you know. I believe that there's been a lot of back and forth. Rachel Bernstein had a motion to dismiss as well. Rock Nation had a motion to dismiss, and I'll get into some of that personally so that we can come back in here and find the relevant parts. But yeah, again, we talked about this stuff and wrote this article a year ago because, you know, what Desiree was doing and what was being given to us as far as, you know, how she operates and how she conducts her business and how she goes at her enemies. It was all very much relevant when it came down to thinking about how she might have used that power to put Tory Lanez behind bars and flip his witness in the case and basically make it an unwinnable situation for Tory Lanez. That's on the more serious aspect of things. But then we can also go to what's been going on with Drake, academics, Stake, and just how we see these fraudulent lawsuits popping up, you know, fraudulent accusations. I think Larry Jackson also had some things to say about how he's been attacked. And the thing is, all of these people can't be crazy. Okay? All of these people can't be crazy, and we can't continue to just chuck all of this stuff up as, oh, it's just the crazy Drake fans who are mad about a battle. Oh, it's just the crazy Drake fans who don't like that Jay-Z allowed Kendrick to have a Super Bowl. As we can see here, we're dealing with a very deranged woman. We're dealing with a very crazed woman, okay? A woman who is drunk off power, and she has no way to come down. Not one inkling of a thought or a reason to come down off of this high horse. And quite frankly, the game, the industry suffers for people like this continuing to run amok and being able to do whatever they want to do. Because as you can see, when it comes down to these ventures with Jay-Z and stuff like that, what Jay-Z and Rock Nation wants to do for themselves doesn't necessarily benefit all of us, okay? Which is fine, but when you start getting to putting Jay-Z into this category of, oh, Jay-Z taught us how to hustle, Jay-Z taught us how to grind, Jay-Z taught us how to come in. Jay-Z ain't God, okay? You're starting to get to that Kendrick Lamar-esque kind of reverence when you speak about Jay-Z, and I've never seen people speak this highly of Jay-Z across the board in a while, okay? You usually had to be in New York to hear niggas talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce like they're royalty, and I spent a lot of my time in the South, so that just wasn't a thing, okay? That's just not a thing in the South. Niggas is not worshiping Jay-Z in the South. But to see that nowadays that's like the cool thing to do for a certain side and a certain people who are holding out that this belief that all of us who are making noise are manic and paranoid and we're doing too much, we're delusional. Read these documents, read my article, look at these case filings, go through the thing and make a decision for yourself. Watch What's the Dirt's video as well. Watch the overwhelming evidence that just keeps coming out that these people don't mean any well. They don't mean the industry any well. They don't mean me and you any well. And there's really no point in championing these people when all they do is either use us or abuse the people that we favor, okay, the artists that we like. It's something that we can't just continue to just act like, oh well, again, people like Top 5 Troy want to act like this is just rich niggas throwing money around and it's not really an issue that concerns you. But how can you stand behind a woman doing all of these things? You know what I'm saying? It gets to the point where we have to call out the obvious. And if you're fine with Desiree Perez kidnapping people in broad daylight, slandering them, if you're fine with her having a tech team whose job it is to slander and get rid of her enemies in the most vile ways possible that can be thought of, then so be it. So be it. If that's the life you want to live, if that's the industry that you want to operate in, and you want to, perhaps it gives you clicks and views. Perhaps it constantly gives you something to talk about. I don't know. Maybe that's why you would like something to just remain broken. But I think it's important that we get niggas like this the fuck out of here. Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, there either needs to be a regime change or we need to get her the fuck out of here. There has to be big changes. And we can't just sit by and act like it's okay until we reach a point of no return. Tory Lanez is in jail getting stabbed 18, 19 times. Megan Thee Stallion still walking free. Drake getting accused of pedophilia and all kinds of weird stuff, and everybody who was so giddy and jumping up and down that these things were happening to him are all like, oh, well, it wasn't that serious and it wasn't nothing to... Now they want us to get over it. They want us to get over this. Let me ask the artists, the hip hop fans, are you ready to give up, to get over people like Desiree Perez and Rock Nation running amok and doing whatever they want to whoever they want? Are you guys okay with that? Are you guys okay with that? So, you know, it is what it is, but we can't continue to, if you don't want to be involved in it, if you don't care too much about it, then so be it. If, you know, a lot of what this conversation involves is too much for you, then so be it. But we're not gonna act like this is just rich niggas throwing money around when the industry that I have been working in and around for the better part of the last 10 years. I would like some transparency. I would like it easier for artists to have a easier time entering the game, or an easier entry point into the game, without these dangerous gatekeepers forcing people to either be something that they're not, or march to somebody else's program and, you know, conform to somebody else's will. It's time to get people like this out of here. It just is, man. So yeah, I want you guys to read this information, go through a lot of this information and see for yourself. You see, there's plenty of documents since then. This is an ongoing case, and it's something that has not ended just yet. And of course, check out the article where I break down, if you don't want to read the entire case, check out the article where I break down exactly with a very good summary and a timeline, exactly who Desiree Perez is, her tactics, and you will be able to identify, and not only that, but I want you guys to listen to this stream, even if you're just getting into this, or if you're listening to one of my clips, go back, listen to academics information and things like that again, and then look and compare that to what we're seeing happen to Damari Hadley. And that's why we have to revisit some of this information. And we'll be going more in depth into some of the things that she faced dealing with her mother. But really make sure you keep an eye and recognize and compare how these two, instances with Damori and with Academics and Charlemagne, just look at the glaring similarities. Look at the similarities in the things that we can't just chuck up as a coincidence anymore. And like I said, Rock Nation is at the point with the people where weird things happening, we can't just chuck it up as a coincidence anymore. They've lost that goodwill. The weird things and the eyebrow raisers, the red flags, we can no longer ignore when it comes down to Rock Nation. Because they have shown time and time again that they play a very underhanded, dirty, and cutthroat game. And they are willing to play it to win. They don't care who they have to step on. They don't care the reputations they have to ruin. They don't care the narratives that they have to paint, and they don't care who they have to pay. They damn sure don't care who they have to pay. So, with that being said, we have to take care of our industry, because a lot of these people, a lot of these guys like to play gatekeeper, and they like to come off like, like they're protecting the culture. But these, if you ask me, we don't need protection from a nigga like What's the Dirt. We need protection in the industry from people like a Desiree Perez. People like Rock Nation. That's what we need protection from. That's what we need some real gatekeeping coming from. That's what we need. That's what it's going to take. We don't need people out here telling us that What's the Dirt is the problem when we're looking and reading articles like this. Okay? So, yeah. That's pretty much all I got for you guys today. But again, I hope you guys do your due diligence and you guys start reading a little bit more, paying attention a little bit closer and harder, because a lot of these things aren't just coincidences. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff is real life. It's affecting real people, and it affects our industry, and it affects our future artists. When actions like this are normalized and it's just okay with everybody, and we don't show that we have a problem with people behaving like this, then they're going to just continue to behave like this, okay? They're going to continue to prey on artists, new artists or old, no matter how big. They're going to continue to prey on artists like this, and they're going to continue to prey on workers, people who work within the industry like this. Just look at how she had Damori Hadley's job by the nuts. Like, I'm sure she has so many other companies by the nuts. Saved them from financial ruin, like I told you guys. Saved them from financial ruin. Imagine how many companies Rock Nation and Desiree Perez have saved from financial ruin doing quid pro quos like that. Favor for a favor. So we got to wake it up, guys. We got to start calling this stuff out. And again, read this article. Again, I'm telling you, if you're just getting in here, or if you hadn't been here the entire time, please, 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 I can't say it enough. You can find this in my article section. This is about the lawsuit that we just read. well, a little bit of it. And of course, you can find that lawsuit as well. If you guys would like me to provide it, I will provide it for you. Just bear with me, give me a little minute, but I'll provide that along with the article again. But I really want you guys to take heed and watch the similarities of Desiree Perez's playbook. Okay, this has her name written all over it, and I just had to point some of those facts out to you guys. All right, get into the Doja Room community. I appreciate you guys for watching. Anybody watching right now, go ahead and hit this video with a repost, hit it with a like, share it to your Drake fans, your Rock Nation haters, the people who need this information. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people need this information, and we need to continue waking this stuff up. As I said last year when I was making this article and things like that, we need more people waking this stuff up. We need more people taking a stand and say, hey, I'm a small creator. They can't stop all of us. She can't silence and dox all of us, okay? So as long as we continue doing our due diligence, I think one day we'll see these people answering for their crimes. And that's just a true hope and belief that I have. And I want to see it happen sooner than later. Okay? So again, hit this video with a like. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Twitch, subscribe. If you're on Kick, subscribe. Make sure you're following. Hit that bell notification. And make sure that you're locked in every time the Doja Room goes live. I won't spam you guys with videos. I'm not on every day. It's the summertime, so I'm doing a lot of moving around, doing a lot of summer events, family reunions, things like that, family things going on. So if I can stream while I'm in the South, I will 100% stream while I'm in the South, and we'll keep this going. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. I just got to find a place to stream. Hopefully I can do that. Okay. Other than that, get into that Doja Room community where we're posting music reviews, movie reviews, TV show reviews. We're reviewing it all. We're even dropping our rap rips, which are ratings for some of our favorite artists. And we continue and encourage some of you guys to come in and give your own rating. We got 50 Cent at an 89 rating. That's my personal rating that I give 50 Cent in this chart topper edition of his card. Of course, we gave Drizzy, the algorithm king, a 99 overall for the year. Iceman is fucking amazing, almost near flawless. And we've been going hard with that. My boy Prince Hakeem has came and dropped his own cards as well. So y'all are welcome to come into the community. Please, I just ask that you guys join the community first. Join in, get your rap rips, Doja Room stamped, and yeah, drop your own cards if you're an artist who wants to rate yourself, or maybe you want other people to rate you. Probably just give us a little minute to digest your music. But yeah, we're open to that too. But yeah, we got Lil Tecca, Central C, Travis Scott, Kanye, Lil Wayne. We went hard as well as giving some albums like Tyler's new A-Pop a straight ass stamp of approval because it was just that terrible. We're not afraid to say it. We're not afraid to get into it here. We're getting into everything hip hop and entertainment and pop culture right here in the Doja Room. So I hope you guys continue to come back for a good time and time again. I'm gonna continue to be here with you guys. I gotta figure out how long exactly we've been running, but we've been running the Doja Room for a long time, guys. Almost a decade, and yet be it on multiple different platforms with different varying levels of consistency over the years. I'm just happy that we've kept this consistent, and I've been able to lock in with so many new followers, friends, fellow Drake fans, OVO fans over the years. I appreciate everybody who taps into the content and supports the content day in and day out, week in and week out. The people who's tapped in with me and saying, hey, we need videos, we need you talking about this, we need to hear something from you and hear your opinion. I appreciate those people as well. They have been amazing as well. So yeah, I can't say enough about everybody who comes in and day out every time I go live. to show and support the show. Okay, so we'll be back. If I'm not back tonight, I will 100% be back in tomorrow to get a stream in, because I'm trying to get out of here by at least Wednesday night, so I can get down south, do the family reunion stuff, you know, get all of that good stuff out of the way. Mother's turning 50. Shout out to my mother, turning 50 in a couple of weeks as well. So yeah, we got a couple of things to knock out, but yeah, if I can, I will be streaming down there, trying to keep up, because things always happen when I can't stream. Okay, some of the, well, not always, but some of the craziest conversations come out, and some of the highest of hot takes come out when I can't stream. So I try to stay next to the computer for you guys. I try to stay next to either the laptop or computer and keep my mic and my camera on me as much as possible. So yeah, I'll try to do that. And I appreciate everybody who stopped into the Doja Room today. For anybody who reposts, shout out. I think shout out to everyone reposting the content. D 619 Santa. Make sure y'all following the Doja Room. I appreciate you guys for retweeting, reposting. Shout out H Minutes for commenting on the video. Thank you for the support. Shout out, let me make sure I don't have any more chats, because I did have. Shout out Pixel World on YouTube. Appreciate you for commenting. I'm having a great day. Thank you for asking how my day was. Hopefully you're having a great day, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. Until next time, guys. This has been the Doja Room. I'm your boy Dope Boy Diesel. To all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, I'll be back in tomorrow. We're going to talk some more shit, and we're going to do what we do best. Wake it up on the timeline, guys. Okay? Ain't no quiet on the creek over here. We waking shit the fuck up, and I hope you guys continue to be here for it, okay? This is the Doja Room. I'm your boy Dope Boy Diesel, and I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry on these.